All right, guys. So today is really just an overview of what is Microsoft Teams. I'm just going to kind of go through some kind of key features, why we want everyone to kind of use it, some best practices, tips and tricks, like I said. Okay, so Microsoft Teams key features. That's where we're going to start. So again, the point of Microsoft Teams is really a place for an entire department, an entire team, to really be able to collaborate holistically on all different levels. So you are able to collaborate on files, you're able to chat, instantly chat, you're also able to instantly get into an audio call or a video call. And it's just really a nice, seamless way for everyone to engage and communicate with each other across departments, across teams, across projects that may be going on, across in person versus virtual or remote staff members. So this is kind of why we really are training around using Microsoft Teams. We really want everybody to feel comfortable using it and make it part of their daily workflow. So, again, the collaboration within Microsoft Teams is the key. The messaging chat feature on your left-hand side here is your navigation bar with all of your icons. So you can see here I have the chat feature. Here's where I can instantly chat. Don't mind that picture of me that Cliff sent earlier. Showing how there was like about 350 of me dragging across the screen. But this instant chat feature, you can think about this as very similar to the way that you would text message in your phone. So it's a great way to be able to communicate with anybody across the agency in a quick and easy way. So definitely really love this tool and this feature. This is the reason why I always have Microsoft Teams open. It's part of my kind of morning routine when I come into work every day. The other great feature in Microsoft Teams, so I'm going to go into a Teams now and then go into files. So if I go up to the tab on the top next to the title of the team or channel that I'm in, if I click files, immediately I'm going to see the files that were shared within that. Sorry, we're just making sure we get admit somebody. Right away, I see the files that are shared within that team. So here again is where you have that ability to collaborate and have a location where files are shared, easily able to be found across teammates, across a project that may be going on. And so again, we really like this ability to have a file share this way. OneDrive is more personal, so just kind of keep that delineation in your mind. You're going to think of your OneDrive as more of your personal filing cabinet. You're not really sharing and collaborating on files per se on a larger scale within your OneDrive. You're going to really want to do that in Teams. And the other key feature, obviously, is what we're in right now, which is a video meeting or a video call and an audio call. So if you go over here on the left-hand side to calls, you get to see here that I can easily, quickly make a phone call, audio or video, to any person across Nassau BOCES. I could type in their name here and it will automatically pop up. I can click their name and then click call. I'll show you some other key features within this app once we get to tips and tricks, but making a phone call, audio or video, is another key feature of Microsoft Teams. All right, moving on to best practices. So again, like I said before, I like to start my workday by always opening up Microsoft Teams right away. So I do highly recommend that you guys do that as well. It just, again, it's just kind of setting a standard across the agency that, people can always interact if necessary. If you're in a meeting or you're busy, and again, Teams correlates to your Outlook calendar. So if your Outlook calendar shows you as busy in a meeting, your Teams notification will also indicate that. But just having the Teams app opened allows for that instant collaboration and engagement with across your department, across your staff, across any colleague that needs to interact with you. So again, I talked about your status icon. Remember that your calendar, your Outlook calendar should really be kept as much up to date as possible because that's where Teams pulls from and your notification status will show based off what's in your calendar. So I definitely highly recommend that you keep your calendar as up to date as possible. But if you are in Teams and you see that it's showing you as available, but maybe you don't have anything in your calendar, but you don't want to be showing as available per se because you are working on something, you can go in and easily change that. If you just toggle over, right now I see presenting. If I click where it says presenting, it gives me the options here to change my status. Also, if I come down to the bottom of my screen and just kind of hover over the Teams icon on the bottom taskbar, you could see right here, those little icons pop up that will allow me to change my status instantly as well. So I don't even have to necessarily be in the Teams app, but just have it open somewhere. And I can easily just hover over this Teams icon down here and change my status. So um, another great way to just keep everybody kind of informed on where you're at in your day. It's definitely recommended to have your notifications all set to on. So I'm going to show you what that means. So if you click the three dots next to your icon, either picture or initials, depending on what you have saved there in your profile, and then you click settings and then notifications, you can see here I have all activity checked on or clicked into. That's telling me that any activity that goes on in my Microsoft Teams desktop application, I'm going to get a notification for. Any new messages, reactions, or at mentions, I'm going to be notified about so I can kind of key into that and see what's going on. We do highly recommend that you have that all activity turned on. And obviously you can go in and customize really down and drill down into the notifications. So if there's certain things not necessary for you to have on, you can also do that. We just wouldn't want you missing anything. So recommendation is all activity notifications turned on. Okay, and again, best practices for making a video or audio call is up next. I'm going to click out of there. I'm going to go back to the calls icon over here. So again, you could go into calls icon and call somebody this way by typing in their name. But if you have that person in the chat, so for example, I'm going back to Cliff, up on the top right-hand side, the video icon is right there for you. And if you click that, it'll pop you right into a video call with that person. Well, not automatically, but it will be calling that person, notifying them that you're trying to do a video call with them or an audio call. So you also have the option to do that there as well. All right, so those are some best practices for using Microsoft Teams. Next up would be conversating with your team or a person or a group. So it's perfect that we're in the chat because I can show you right now how to do that. So being that I'm in here with Cliff and he's also in this meeting, I'm going to kind of continue our conversation here. This is a one-on-one chat between Cliff and I. However, you can also have a group chat. So before I show you some things in the one-on-one chat, I'll show you if you click this little pencil square icon up in the top right, it gives you the option to start a new chat. So you can just start to choose. And again, AI is getting very smart. So it kind of pulls up people that you most recently have maybe interacted or spoken with. But otherwise, you can really just start to type people's names, whoever you need to chat with at that time. And then once you choose those people that you want to start that chat with, I do really highly recommend naming that group because it really makes it super easy to find that group as opposed to just seeing a bunch of names listed. You'll actually have a group name. So it's really nice way to just be able to quickly click into that chat and start typing. I also, as you can see here, I also have pinned certain one-on-one chats and group chats for, again, quick and easy access. And you would do that by clicking the three dots next to that group or one-on-one chat, and then just clicking pin. So I'm going to come out of that. And I'm going to just delete that. Oops, it's not letting me. Coming back over here. Okay. Now I could delete. Okay, so let's do some interacting with within the chat. So right now, I just need to move this window. Okay, so right now, Cliff, like I said, sent me this very unflattering picture of myself, and I want to react to this message. So if I just hover over the message, whether it be an image or a text message, I can easily click on these icons here, these emoji cons, or I could click the plus sign and search any other type of emoji that I want to use to react to that, either text chat or image chat. But you also can click the three dots here. And this gives you the option to reply directly to a message. And I really like this because say that you are in a text thread and you need to kind of catch up. And now you want to catch up with responding to this specific message that came through. If you click those three dots and then click reply, at the bottom here, you can see it pulled that message into my new message that I'm about to type in. So this way it connects your answer to that specific message as opposed to it being random within the text thread. That's what it would look like right there. And again, I'm going to react to this message with with my favorite emoji, which is the rock on one, just because I think it's great. So that's kind of different ways to respond and react to messages. And these features are in these kind of private chats, the one-on-one chats and the group chats, but also in your Teams chat. So if I go back over here, and I start a new conversation. This is another thing. Sorry to kind of talk fast and throw a lot at you at once, but I know time is always tight in these webinars, and I want to get everything I can at you so you can learn as much as possible. But if you're in a Teams chat, as opposed to just, I wish Microsoft did a little better with changing the names of things because sometimes it gets a little confusing. But right now I'm in the Teams chat, and there could be a chat thread going on in there, which you can reply directly to, which is by clicking that reply button directly under that chat. But it also gives you the option to start a new conversation. So it's a little bit different than just the regular chat feature. So if you're going to go into the Teams chat and talk about something that has nothing to do with what's right above it, I do suggest you start the new conversation and then begin to type here. What's really great is within Teams and actually across all of the Microsoft apps, you can @mention people, which gives them that specific notification that they were targeted in that email or Teams chat. And it's a really great way to kind of let people know that you need them. Some people like to be a little bit more kind of relaxed in their messaging. So if you, as you see here, it pulls up Cliff's whole entire name. If I just hit the backspace once, it takes off his last name. So it makes it a little bit more personal and not as formal. That's another option you have when you @mention. So I'm going to say, hey. So you can see here that kind of delineates this as a new conversation that's starting within this team chat. Across the bottom here are some really great tools. I don't want to go too in depth into them, but I'll just kind of briefly go over them. You have your format text option tool here, where if you click that, it kind of opens up that menu bar like that you would be familiar with from Microsoft Word. Here, the little paperclip allows you to attach a file. And again, within this chat thread, I can respond to that message. There we go. That actually responded to my own message. You can also directly send an emoji as a response. The GIFs are super fun. I say GIF, Cliff says GIF, totally up to you. You could search here for a GIF or a sticker next to that is also another kind of interesting feature. They don't really have great options, but some of them are okay. So you could check that out. Again, this just kind of keeps things, interesting and fun and makes people laugh throughout the day, which is always helpful. You could schedule a meeting right here in the chat. Again, you can even send an option to meet now within this chat. So it's another way to create a video call with the participants in this team. And again, some of the other features are really great, but I could go down a rabbit hole with those, so I don't want to go too far into it. But these are also really great. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you that another option in the three dots. Another option in the three dots is the ability to pin a message that occurred in the chat. That puts the message directly across the top of the chat. Where did it go? Hold. I like when it makes me a liar. Okay, so normally when you pin that chat or pin that message, you're supposed to see it across the top bar. So I don't know what happened, but we're going to move on. But anyway, pinning a message is a good way to kind of save something that is so that it doesn't get lost in all the chat messaging feature gibberish stuff. We've been noticing that our tech isn't necessarily teching properly today. So that may be a little weird feature that's going on that we don't like today. Okay, and saving a message. Okay, so again, if I want to save a message, three dots, and then I click save this message. This saves not for everyone, but it saves for you. So where do I find those saved messages? If I click my little profile picture or profile icon on the top right, and then saved, any messages that I've ever saved across all of my chats, all of my teams would be listed here. Again, a really great way to kind of keep yourself organized when it comes to the important things that you want to save within your team's environment. And because we all potentially could make mistakes, you also can edit or delete messages. So I'm going to go back actually where I was. And if you click those three dots, you see here I have the option to edit. So if I click that, I can edit my message and then click the check mark, and that will show as my edited version and also notifies people that that was edited. But I also can click three dots and completely delete that message, and it will show that that message has been deleted. So just some other like little features that are super useful in all different types of ways. Time. Ooh, okay. I'm going to show you real quick the tips and tricks, and then we'll take questions at the end. Okay, so first tip and trick is the search bar at the top. So you can search for anything here, messages, files, a whole bunch of stuff. So say I'm searching for purchase order. This is going to scan everything in Teams that ever had the words purchase order that I'm associated with and pull it up. And it gives you a drill down feature over here. You can click all, you can click just messages if you know exactly what you're looking for. And again, you can even drill down even more here. You can just click on people or files. And files, that's a big one because if you are in a bunch of teams and you don't know exactly which team a file maybe was shared with you in, you can just search for it, which is really, really helpful. And again, you can also drill down here and filter the search. Syncing files with OneDrive, I will show you that real quick as well. Again, if I click files here in any one of my teams, you get this option up at the top here to, sorry about that. Why is it not showing me sync? Am I missing that? Oh, probably because I'm already syncing. But you can also add a shortcut to your OneDrive, which is another great feature that the Files tab has. So you can sync to your OneDrive, but also you can add a shortcut to your OneDrive. So syncing to your OneDrive means that within your own OneDrive, you're going to see that team's files as well. So in this area, you would see the team that you synced with, and the files specifically that you wanted to share there, that you wanted to save there. And okay, creating a file in Teams. So if I go to this little new, I'm clicked into files, and then if I go to new, I could actually create a new document, PowerPoint, form, any kind of file right here within my team, because that'll immediately allow my teammates to begin to work on that document or that file together. And again, it's saved then within that team. So another great feature. And I just realized the sync button is right here. So if you do want to sync any of your OneDrive, any of your Teams files into OneDrive, you just click that sync button right there and it'll do that for you. Okay, setting priority access. Again, 3 dots. Go to settings and then go to privacy. If you go to privacy, you're going to see something right here called manage priority access. So normally when you receive notifications, it's dependent on your status. So again, if you're showing green, meaning you're available, anybody can send you messages and you'll be notified. If you are on do not disturb or busy, those notifications won't come up until you get out of that environment or out of that status. However, you can set priority access. So if I click manage priority or set priority access, you can actually add people that kind of bypass that no notification feature if you're on do not disturb. This is really great if you never want to miss a message from a supervisor or, you know, again, another person that no matter what their messages have to come through. This is a great way to do that. You can see I have Cliff here. He's my boss, so I need to make sure I get all his messages. And okay, last feature. In call, you can set a speed dial. Again, if there's people that you are going to be calling a lot, I suggest you add them as a speed dial. So you could do 3 dots here and then add a contact to this group. And you just search that person's name, click add, and it will show up just like I have it here. Just makes it super easy to be able to create that video call or that audio call very quickly without having to search that person's name. Okay, whew, I could breathe. I got through it all. So we are going to, I'm going to stop sharing. And we're going to turn on the option. Give us 1 second. I'm going to go into settings and turn on the option for you all to, where is that? Why is it not showing up for me? Settings, meeting options. There you are. All right, and allow mic, allow camera, and save. Okay, so if you do want to unmute or turn your camera on, you should have the ability to do that now. If not, I'm going to check the chat and see what's going on in there. Cliff, I'm not sure if you have anything you wanted to throw out there or add in or anything I missed.
No, it's very hard, as you know, to cover everything, and what's
Yes.
meaningful and valuable to some folks may not be as meaningful and valuable to others. So we're kind of dependent on the feedback and the questions as they come in. So by all means, if someone has something, please share.
Oh, Kim, that's great. Kim said her computer is set for Microsoft Teams to auto open when she turns on her computer. So that's great. It's like a set it and forget it. It's not like you have to think about opening Microsoft Teams. That's how mine is as well. It just automatically opens for you. That's a great, good best practice. Thanks for sharing that. Don't leave me hanging here, guys. Any questions? Anything? Did I do such a good job that you have nothing to ask? No, I'm just kidding. But really, we'd love to hear from you.
What do they find what do any of you find as challenges?
I was going to say that, yeah, like a pain point, anything that's driving you crazy. I think the sun got to everyone today, Cliff.
It could be.
I mean, the basic communication is really good. I enjoy using Teams. The communication is fine. It's just that when we get into the updating some of the project statuses, I think that's really a bit cumbersome, a little bit clumsy on the side. I don't know if you ever saw the way we have to update them now and then, which I always forget to do until Cliff reminds me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever looked at that process. Maybe you can take a look at it. Maybe there's a way to make it a little streamlined.
Is that Is that in Planner, Cliff? Is that?
That's in Planner, and one of
Okay.
the reasons why, Andy, with that, and Planner is getting more and more use as we continue to talk about it, is that when I create those things, or when you create those things, you really need to put a due date on them, and that will send you reminders and things like
Mhm.
that. Right now, that it's just like when we add someone to a tile in Planner and add them to it, it really just creates a task for them, but with
I was gonna
no
say like a to-do list, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not sure. I mean, is there any way for me to attach? I keep a lot of notes on the side in Word documents. Is there any way to attach those to the task pieces in Teams?
Yes.
But that's
Oh, in Teams or in the Planner?
I mean, the planner is in Teams, right? It's part
Yes.
of Teams, right? So
Yes,
that's the
it's a
planner we're
tab.
talking about, right? So can I attach a document to it?
So if you click on the tile that
Yeah.
the task is in, and then you scroll down, you'll see
Yeah.
add attachment.
Oh, okay. I want to store something in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was the thing. I mean, from communications is nice. You could do a chat. You can make a phone call. Always getting
Yep.
calls. It's just that
Yeah.
once you go past the basic communication and sharing of information and maybe storings of documents, is like I don't really get into with that as much. It's almost like a second. I have to remember to do it. It's like the thing you
Yeah,
have
and
to
that
do.
right, right. And that's why I was saying it's kind of good to just make it kind of part of your daily workflow, like routine, where you come in and you open it, you kind of see what's going on. If anything's going on, somebody sent a chat message. The other thing is if you don't have it on, it will send you an email if you did get some sort of a chat message or notification. So you will receive that in email as well. Joan asked
An email from what?
from Teams. You'll get an email saying that a message came through for you in Teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Joan asked, are the files secure on Teams? And are we worried about the type of info we post? Definitely secure. Cliff, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, so files stored in Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, etc., are fully encrypted both in motion and at rest, which is what we like. So from a security standpoint, technology, yes, they're absolutely secure. Now, when you say, are we worried about the type of info we post? That really comes down to the end user and end user awareness and setting the appropriate rights on the files that you're sharing. So one of the things that we encourage is sharing by file, even though it's more granular. So what could potentially happen, and we haven't quite seen this yet, but certainly a worry point, is that if someone has, let's say, a folder that contains a bunch of different documents and document types, and they just say, hey, I want to share this, I'm going to do it quickly, I'm going to share the folder. Right. So if someone shares that folder and you share it at the top level like that, anyone that you share the folder with has access to everything within that folder, regardless of whether or not you intended them to or not. So from a technology security standpoint, yes, everything's highly secure. It's also why we encourage sharing from OneDrive or Teams and sharing files that way rather than sending attachments, because it is more secure that way. But so the technology side is kind of buttoned up and very well cared for. It's more appropriate use and rights management on the end user perspective. And Theresa, I think, has covered that once or twice in the What the Tech videos that come out, but we can certainly have a webinar on that as well. Just so that, also one of the things that we're talking to, and I'm kind of excited about, to be honest, and unfortunately there aren't many people left in the meeting, but we are going to have a Ask Me Anything type of webinar series. Where we also have some folks from IT on. We're thinking about perhaps Microsoft just giving some brief, like, quarterly updates type of thing on what's coming. We're not sure about that piece yet, but really an Ask Me Anything type session where people can come on and just ask away, ask your questions. You're curious about something, you're not quite sure why, maybe you're not able to access something, maybe you get an error message all the time, maybe you get this or that or the other thing. It will be both a Theresa and I on from an application, maybe training perspective, but also IT on to talk about some of the IT related things that people are questioning or have questions about or routinely run into certain challenges.
Yep. And I also will starting with the next webinar, which is on April 19th after the break. I will start to post, or it will be kind of mentioned, or it will be announced what the topic is, because I know people have been asking, especially also with the What the Tech emails that go out, but also with the webinars. People are like, can you share the topics? We didn't want to do that off the jump. We didn't want that to stop people from joining. We wanted people to come in and just be open to learning. They may be something new, or a little, even if you walk away with one little tip that you didn't know. So we feel like I've gotten enough kind of following at this point that we're going to start to share out those topics before when the registration links go out. So hopefully that helps everyone as well. And also, I'm just going to plug my part of the website where we're really building that resource and tool section. It also has all the recorded webinars and all of my What the Tech videos. So I'm going to throw that link in the chat for you as well. And I'm done. If Cliff, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
That's all I have for now.
Can I make one suggestion?
No.
Yes, please.
Okay.
No,
I'll
go
with
ahead.
her.
Of course.
Listen, maybe you can work with customer care on some of the phishing emails I've found, or maybe because I picked up a lot of them by looking at the email itself and seeing the spellings and inconsistencies. If you can get some examples and show everyone, that might be good in the future. Like you say, look at this here on this email, look at that there, and these are the things to look for.
We actually are in the
Yeah,
process of that. Yep.
What's happening? We're actually
Yep.
that will become a part of the regular training
okay.
series and
Yep.
the basics of what to look for, when to forward to customer care and say, hey, I got this, versus sometimes things just get through. Customer care is always good to make aware when you get those types of things. That way, if there's something more broadly that went throughout the agency, I will say, well, no, I won't say that. So,
Okay.
So do that.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
Right,
Yes. We are.
that's a
We
good
are
point.
working. We are working on kind of putting out an email best practices kind of guide for what to do when you think that something is fishy,
Yeah,
or isn't good, or trying to cause harm on somebody and or take away from our internal security. So we definitely are doing that, and we're also working on best practices for sharing PII in emails as well.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. All right. Awesome. Thank you all so much. And like I said, I put those links in the chat for the website with all the resources and the recordings of all the webinars in the past and my email video tips that go out. And really appreciate you guys joining. Spread the word when the registration links go out, so we can get as many people into these as we possibly can. And have a great day. Enjoy the sun.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.